Erythræa is an ancient name, associated in the past with its Greek form Erythræia, and its derived Latin form Erythræ. This name relates to that of the Red Sea, then called the Erythræan Sea, from the Greek for red, erythros. The Italians created the colony of Erythræa in the 19th century around Asmara, and named it with its current name. After World War II, Erythræa was annexed to Ethiopia. In 1991 they gained their independence. Erythræa officially celebrated its first anniversary of independence on April 27, 1994. Damat was a kingdom that encompassed most of Erythræa and the northern fringes of Ethiopia. It existed during the 8th and 7th centuries BC. Given the presence of a massive temple complex, its capital was most likely Ea. Kohaito, often identified as the town Kolo and the Periplus of the Erythræan Sea, as well as Matra, were important ancient Damat kingdom cities in southern Erythræa. There are many ancient cities in Erythræa. The realm developed irrigation schemes, used plows, grew millet, and made iron tools and weapons. After the fall of Damat in the 5th century BC, the plateau came to be dominated by smaller successor kingdoms until the rise of one of these polities during the 1st century, the kingdom of Axum, which was able to reunite the area. Debrecina, monastery, from the 4th century is the first Christian place of worship recorded in Erythræa. Debrecina Monastery was built during 1350s near the town of Nefisit in Erythræa. The kingdom of Axum was a trading empire centered in Erythræa and northern Ethiopia. It existed from approximately 100 to 940 AD, growing from the Proto-Axumite Iron Age period circa 4th century BC to achieve prominence by the 1st century AD. The Axumites established bases on the northern highlands of the Ethiopian plateau and from there expanded southward. The Persian religious figure Mani listed Axum with Rome, Persia, and China as one of the four great powers of his time. The origins of the Axumite kingdom are unclear, although experts have offered their speculations about it. Even whom should be considered the earliest known king is contested, although Carlo Conti Rossini proposed that Zoschles of Axum, mentioned in the Periplus of the Erythræan Sea, should be identified with one Zohakel mentioned in the Ethiopian king lists, a view embraced by later historians of Ethiopia such as Yuri M. Kubishchanov and Sergio Ablay Selassie. G.W.B. Huntingford argued that Zoschles was only a sub-king whose authority was limited to Adulis, and that Conti Rossini's identification cannot be substantiated. According to the medieval Liber Axumi, Book of Axum, Axum's first capital, Mazabur, was built by Aetiopus, son of Cush. Mineral Hay cites the Muslim historian Abu Jafar al-Khwarizmi/Kharazmi, who wrote before 833, as stating that the capital of the kingdom of Abash was Jorma, hypothetically from Geesgurma, remarkable, revered. The capital was later moved to Axum in northern Ethiopia. The kingdom used the name Ethiopia as early as the 4th century. The Axumites erected a number of large stelae, which served a religious purpose in pre-Christian times. One of these granite columns is the largest such structure in the world, standing at 90 feet. Under Azana, Axum later adopted Christianity. In 615, during the lifetime of Muhammad, the Axumite king Sahama provided asylum to early Muslims from Mecca fleeing persecution. This journey is known in Islamic history as the First Hijrah. The area is also the alleged resting place of the Ark of the Covenant and the purported home of the Queen of Sheba. The kingdom is mentioned in the Periplus of the Erythræan Sea as an important marketplace for ivory, which was exported throughout the ancient world. Axum was at the time ruled by Zoschles, who also governed the port of Adulis. The Axumite rulers facilitated trade by minting their own Axumite currency. The state also established its hegemony over the declining kingdom of Kush and regularly entered the politics of the kingdoms on the Arabian Peninsula, eventually extending its rule over the region with the conquest of the Himyarite kingdom. Inscriptions have been found in southern Arabia celebrating victories over one Gdrt, described as Nagashi of Abashat, i.e. Abyssinia, and of Axum. Other dated inscriptions are used to determine a Flaruyut for Gdrt, interpreted as representing a Ges name such as Gajrat, Jadar, or Jadara, around the beginning of the 3rd century. A bronze scepter or wand has been discovered at Asmara with an inscription mentioning GDR of Axum. Coins showing the royal portrait began to be minted under King Andubi's toward the end of the 3rd century. Additionally, expeditions by Azana into the kingdom of Kush at Maro in Sudan may have brought about the latter polity's demise, though there is evidence that the kingdom was experiencing a period of decline beforehand. As a result of Azana's expansions, Axum bordered the Roman province of Egypt. The degree of Axum's control over Yemen is uncertain, though there is little evidence supporting Axumite control of the region at that time. His title, which includes King of Saba and Salin, Himyar and Durain, all in modern-day Yemen, along with gold Axumite coins with the inscriptions, King of the Habshat or Habashat, indicate that Axum might have retained some legal or actual footing in the area. Details of the Axumite kingdom, never abundant, become even more scarce after this point. The last king known to mint coins is Arma, whose coinage refers to the Persian conquest of Jerusalem in 614. Stuart Monroe Hay believes that Axum had been abandoned as the capital by Sihama's reign. However, Kubushchanov suggests that Ethiopians retained hegemony over the Arabian ports until at least as late as 702.